Welcome back, everyone, to the weekly roundup where
What's up?
we talk about our top picks. I'm joined today with Nick and Carlos. You guys know us by now. Hopefully, if you don't, this is your first video. Real quick, we go over our top three for the week. We go over our disappointment of the week, which could be anything that's comic book related. We go over our best covers of the week, whatever we got, and we ended up with what we're looking forward to next week.
Yep.
So um, yeah, no, this is the new month, so we're not gonna go over brackets or anything because this is starting the new week and everything like that. So to start it off, my number three pick. Let's just go in the top three. My number three pick is Elles by Ablaze. You
Okay.
know, Els was a really great pick. Very Pixar like. You can definitely see like the Pixar what is it called? Inspirations from it.
Influence.
Yeah, influence.
Yep.
It's basically telling a story about a girl who has what is it? A total of six personalities,
As far as
including
we know.
herself.
Yeah. Five, and then we end up like discovering that there's a sixth one. Yeah.
Right. And so it's just a story about her like doing that and how she has it under control and stuff. But there's one personality that's trying to take over the main personality, and it's just the very first issue is just that like what's going, how is it breaking her down to take over. And it was pretty good. It was actually longer than I thought it was going to be, like that first issue,
Very
but
long.
I thought it was great. It intrigued me. I'm definitely ready to see what the next issue is going to be about and how the story finishes. So L's number one from Ablaze. That's my number three.
So Manny, that's my number two.
Very nice, very nice.
It
Why did you go with that cover?
all right. Do you want the real answer or do you want me to lie?
I want the real answer.
That's the only one my shop had because I didn't put it on my list.
Damn.
It was a
Yeah.
last
That
minute
makes
decision.
sense, man.
It was a last minute decision. I don't mind it. I actually like this cover.
It's cool, but
It is good. It's okay. It's an okay cover, but
Yeah.
that A cover is really
It
good.
is really, really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there. I took this, whatever. I'm very glad I did. Like you said about the story, but I want to talk about first off, the artwork was very refreshing. It was you could have thought it might have gone cartoony. It was very nice. It was just the paneling and the layout was just there was something about it, and it told a very like sitcom-esque, like young adult story. And then towards like the midpoint end of the issue, that's when the whole multiple personality thing was introduced, and there starts to be this whole like because we do a time jump, right? We do a time skip in the middle of
Yeah,
the
like
issue.
she in the beginning she's starting school, and then like by the end of it, it's like she's already halfway through.
Yep.
So it was very interesting, and to see like the stress at home. We don't really get nothing really gets fully like developed yet, obviously, because it's the first issue, and we got a lot of information. I feel like to dissect,
Yeah.
but like to see like how she struggled and like the vulnerability of like what was going on and how that spoiler, but that kiss kind of like sent
Spark.
the whole
Yeah.
thing downhill and how the events lined up perfectly for the one of these personalities to take their shot to mess things up. Because I thought the blue-haired one was going to try to actually take the place, but she instead wants to take over, but is sending another personality in there to mess things up to further open up her like
And
chance.
to explain that, like the blue hair, there's like a blonde one, there's a brown hair, green hair. I really love that we as the reader can see the differences in personality, but like it does establish that the people that are with her in real life, they don't see that difference. They just see Elle. They just see her, and her personality changes. We see the difference, but they don't, and I love that because I needed that established because it'd be kind of weird. 1 second I'm talking to you, and then you have blonde hair. Like what? What just happened?
But no, man, I read it as well, and it it really was like you mentioned, Nick. It was refreshing. It was something different. Um, the moment that I started reading it, I also got that Pixar vibe. And I also for some reason I thought of Inside Out.
Yeah.
Kind of dealing with that inner turmoil. Having questions about who you are, about how to deal with your feelings, all of that. And I think it was wonderfully expressed in the way that each personality has different hair, right? And
Yeah.
I love the explanation of what personality is attributed to each hair color, right? And when those personalities end up coming out. Yeah, the treatment of Lenote, that's what we'll call it right now. Yeah, it was it wasn't all there, but
Lacking.
overall, yeah, it was lacking. But overall, though, I do like how in that time skip that we had, we saw how Elle ended up becoming part of the group and all the activities that they ended up doing together, and how they ended up growing um, uh, uh, as a group, as friends.
Did they show that montage with Polaroids, or was it just like pictures? Which is the same
I
thing.
think
But
it's.
They were Polaroids, right? I mean,
I
that's
think so.
who in that group has a fucking Polaroid camera? Don't lie to me.
but no, it was
It was good.
yeah,
The
it
note.
was.
The note has the Polaroid.
Oh, that's right. It
That makes
was.
sense. Yeah.
She deserved justice. But yeah, man, it was a good story. About someone dealing with the stresses of life, man. About just in general in life, home life, growing up, and my favorite part overall though was how we got to actually spend time with each of the personalities. It wasn't just like oh, this personality is the fun one, or this personality is the serious one. We actually got to see them interact, not just with like their friends, but at home. So it was interesting to again explore each side of
Yeah.
of these different personalities, I guess. And I think that really fleshed out this idea that she really is struggling with who she is. But yeah, man, it was good. I
And
enjoyed
just
it.
a final note, I think the final consensus of it is that she does have DID. I have no
Yeah,
idea how to pronounce that. Dissociative identity disorder.
identity disorder.
There you go.
Yep.
So I thought that was cool. At first, I didn't like the idea of like, oh, you're making this actual serious problem into like a fantastical kind of thing. But the more I read it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is respectful at least.
On a
Yeah,
final note, I did have one gripe, and that was there was a lot of characters with a lot of unique names.
Well,
And
it's from like Europe,
I
so
know that. I
Yeah.
didn't know that until you guys told me. Now it makes sense. But it was very hard to keep track of all because there was multiple characters that we didn't even get to see physically yet in this
well,
issue. at least.
let's try to pronounce them. Like, so there's there is L, which is easy. There's her
Yep.
best friend, Melise.
Melissa. Yeah,
Malis?
Melis. Yeah.
Malis sounds right.
Uh,
Fredo.
Dude,
I
I just yeah.
already forgot the other guy's name. And
There
then
was
Lynette.
some girls.
Sarfi,
Yeah.
Sefi,
Safi,
Safi,
whatever.
yeah,
Safi.
yeah. Those
Yep.
are some tough names.
And there was multiple characters that in the first issue, at least I haven't read it past the first issue, that there was some characters that were referenced by name multiple times, but not shown yet. So I don't even know what to associate them with.
This just goes to show that we all need to stop being uncultured swines,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
culture ourselves.
It wasn't
weird.
It wasn't a grab for me just because I mean, dude, they're just different names. That's all.
Get it,
you know?
man. You're a cultured human being. Fine.
Well,
You're better than all of us.
I'm not necessarily complaining about the names. I'm just saying the amount of characters
Oh, gotcha.
in this first issue and like that texting scene.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of names to me now to associate with brand new characters that I've never
Wait,
met before.
all the characters that were referenced in the text messages, they were all part of the story.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like, there's a lot of names, and now I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, because I'm now not seeing them. I'm not okay. Was this person, or
Okay,
I'm gonna go back and figure out who was who? And
what's Nick's number
all right,
3?
my
Now
number
I'm
3.
very, very curious to
Okay.
hear.
You guys help me decide on this.
All right, let's skip Nick. Carlos,
Yeah.
what's your
So my number 3 this week is Batman.
Okay.
126.
It's not
That's fair. That's fair. All right.
It was, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It was between this and Twig, but our discussion prior to the show made me realize that you guys are very right. And I was like, okay, that made it easy for me to decide once, because I go into this show every week with only my thoughts on the books.
Mm-hmm.
Really? So once these guys really talk to me, and like most of the time, I don't change my opinions, but sometimes they open me up to things that I'm like, okay, I can see. I was very torn between 2 books, and that helped me see that, okay, there's flaws with this book. This book obviously deserves a spot over it.
Nice.
All right, number 3. This, I'm loving Chip Zdarsky. I love his books. I love his writing. I'm really into it. I know Manny did a video on his Instagram that I really enjoyed about this issue, and basically Batman gets the shit beaten out of him. Bruce gets the living shit.
100%.
We're watching old man Batman.
Yeah,
but like it's not even like he's that old. He's what you would say, like late 40s.
I would say he's in his 40s right now.
Yeah.
So from my I guess from what I thought, in New 52 he was in his like super early 20s, and then Rebirth brought him back to his 40s. That much?
I would say Rebirth brought him back to like the 30s, and then what's happened now, it's like he's in his 40s, but if Dark Crisis does what it promises, he's gonna die soon, and we're just gonna get Damian as Batman.
Okay, and the reason why I'm asking is because when Superman was merged with his personalities or whatever the fuck, he was technically older than Bruce now, right?
You're trying too much. That's too much logical thinking.
Anyways,
let me talk about why this is my number 3.
Yeah, go for it.
Carlos.
Go for it.
Talking about Superman and Batman time. Relax.
This isn't World's Finest. I get
it's not World's Finest. I was just
not World's Finest.
Yeah.
It's a completely different time period. All right. So Batman gets the living shit beaten out of him. We get to see the Bat Family, which I'm a huge fan of when the Bat Family is properly used. And Signal is a character that we just really haven't seen enough of recently. Second only to Batwoman and Batwing, not Batwing.
Only second to last.
Second.
Yeah.
But at least Signal had been in a bunch of like backup stories with like outsiders and stuff. So those other characters didn't even get that. So cool to see Signal. Cool to see him be like kind of badass. Awesome to see like Tim isn't dead.
He just got a big old fucking
the smoker's hole.
But you know what? When you're like the son of Batman and you've been around that long, you probably just used to just getting
it's just another
injuries.
I don't think that you're used to getting shot in the neck. No, I really don't think so.
If 50 Cent can get shot like 100 times, Tim Drake can walk around with a hole in his neck.
No, and
that's a good point.
I don't know. Anyway,
really good story, solid artwork. I like the pacing. This new villain, this robot, this failsafe, I really do like that. Like, it's a challenge to these characters, which none of them have superpowers. Well, I guess Signal has a power, right?
Yeah,
but like it's not a useful power.
Yeah, it's like the power of light, isn't it? He's a torch, basically. I don't really know anything about Signal.
I know he lights up the bat symbol in his chest.
I think he can. It's kind of like Monica in Marvel. Like he can use the light spectrum at to some point. Maybe I don't know. To tell you the truth.
I don't know. I don't know nothing about Signal, dude.
All I
I
know
just
is in Future State he had like a giant sword that had black lightning in it, and that was cool.
all that I remember from Signal, dude, is just when his parents got killed by the Joker and he wanted revenge, and somehow he's a metahuman, right?
Yeah.
But
something like that. Sounds like
Nothing.
Clown Hunter. It's the same origin story as Clown Hunter.
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was cool. All the characters, Nightwing jumping over the Batmobile, badass.
That was cool.
I will say, Jorge Jimenez, his art, like I love his art. It's amazing, but sometimes he just doesn't hit every mark. Like so when they showed that full page spread of Nightwing, the way Nightwing looked, I was like, that's not great.
All right. And to add to it, the backup story was really good too.
Oh yeah, I forgot that there was
The
backup.
Catwoman stuff.
Catwoman,
And I
yep.
like how Zdarsky's writing it, but he's tying it in to the current Catwoman run also.
How did that end?
Yep.
I don't know if I finished it.
Good question.
Which one? The
Catwoman.
Catwoman.
The-
Catwoman backup?
Yeah.
Didn't it? Damn, dude, I actually forgot. To be
It's
honest with
just
you.
Yeah,
that
now I can't
forgettable.
remember how you
feel
asked
like I
about
read it, but like I can't.
I know that I read it, but I actually forgot. I don't even remember.
Oh, we look all stupid, dude.
That's
open
great.
it up.
I love it because it shows how dumb these backup stories are. They need to stop with the backup
I don't
stories.
remember how it ended.
It was
Or
a
make
good
them
backup. You know what? I don't mind a backup that's written by the same guy that wrote the original because he's.
Oh,
the
wait.
whole book is him.
Wait. I do remember. It was she ended up figuring it out who killed the other children of Penguin.
The Penguin.
And yeah, exactly. And
I didn't finish reading it then because that does not ring any bells.
You don't
Yeah.
remember the two? All right, you know how the
Two
two
kids
kids show up and say
show
that
up.
they're also the children of Penguin?
Yep.
See,
And
I think I read the first page and then I was like, I fuck this.
It was a
Yeah.
good story.
yeah,
So I need to reread it.
It's coming back to me. For a moment there, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Once I looked at it, I realized okay, that was a solid backup. I'm enjoying the whole like because it ties into like Tinny Howard's run. Like it makes sense.
That's cool.
Like with the position that Catwoman's currently in, her doing this makes so much sense. And I really liked it. I'm liking Chip Zdarsky. I don't think he can do anything wrong.
The one thing I really liked about this was so like we always get like the thought bubbles and stuff in every comic, but in this one we could actually see like what's going on through Bruce's brain as he's getting the shit beat out of him, like you were saying. And like even when Stephanie and Cass showed up, he was like, "Oh no, they're about to get fucked up too because I can't take them. They're gonna get messed up." And then to the point where Signal came to the conclusion of he's not after us. This machine is after you. Way before Batman. Like you could say that Batman has a concussion right now. Of course, he didn't think about it, but
no, you can't say that. He
you can't
does
say that
have
about Batman.
No,
he even
does
says it.
have
He's
one.
like, "Oh, concussion."
He says it.
Yeah.
Concussion.
No, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like you can say that he has a concussion right now, and that's why he didn't come up to the conclusion that
I
this
see what you're saying.
machine-
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. Like that this machine is after him and not the rest. But Signal beat him to that conclusion. And with Batman, I feel like that's not an excuse. Like a concussion is a great excuse for anybody else, but not for Bruce Wayne.
Not Batman.
Not Batman. Not in my opinion.
You made a good point, Manny, in the video I watched you do earlier, about how him targeting the robot targeting Leslie.
Yeah, no, that
was
really
like a
brought me
really
down.
good
I was
touch.
Holy shit. Like, is she okay? We don't know. We don't know what happened with that. So that really brought me down. But I know that Carlos wants to talk about that final page. Right?
What? Oh, yeah.
The final reveal.
Yeah, dude. So, like, I enjoyed, honestly, the entire issue. Everything that you guys said, I agree with. I do want to say real quick, though, my favorite page by far, is the spread with Spoiler and Cass. Dude, that was dope.
Can I interrupt you real quick? Real quick. If this spread was drawn by Jorge Jimenez, or not Jorge Jimenez, if it was drawn by who's Corona, Jorge Corona, it wouldn't have been as good. Please deny me. Tell me I'm wrong.
Why would I deny that? I agree.
100%. Thank you. Okay.
But you know who would have done it better than both of them?
Wait, but hold on. Hold on.
Bruno Redondo.
No.
Hold on. When did I?
Come on.
When did I ever argue against that? I never.
I'm just saying, for a while, y'all gave me a lot of shit for being mad that Corona draws Batgirls.
I like it. I like his art style.
No. I just gave you shit because I didn't think that it was like, unviewable.
It's not good. It's not.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, my absolute favorite image of the entire comic though was the way that he drew Cass. Like, bro,
it was
that fucking amazing, man. I actually cropped like that image to save it, because sometimes I like to throw different like backgrounds on my computer or like whatever, because dude, just 10 out of 10. But anyways, my only kind of gripe, and I'm sure that I'm gonna get over it, was the reveal at the end. That it just kind of seemed out of left field, and it can be fun when you bring like obscure characters, villains, whatever. But the fact that we're bringing back like Bruce's like alternate personality. What is it? Zur in art. Dude, that is not what I was hoping out of Zdarsky's run. I want to say I was really hoping that it was going to give us more of a, really, really back to basics, street level kind of Batman. And Zur has a pretty fantastical background, man. From what I remember reading like fucking long time ago, there's even like a fourth or fifth dimension kind of background to why he even became a split personality from Bruce. I had his action figure when I was a kid, and I thought it was like the coolest thing, man. But I just thought it was kind of left field. And again, I was just hoping a little bit more of back to basics, Batman, which is what I've been preaching for like a long time. But I'm sure that I'm going to get over it. I'm sure that it's going to be fun. But initially it did leave me kind of like, oh, man, this is going to turn into this.
Awesome. Like, I thought it was sick.
Like from the small amount of research that I did, it looks like, you're right. There is like that fifth dimension, whatever, where that Zurin or whatever came from. But then there's Grant Morrison is the one that came up with that Batman created a new personality. Right? And the new personality is modeling that character from another dimension. So it's not the same character from the other dimension. It's just modeling that personality.
Gotcha.
So I was like, you know what, that's fine. That makes sense. I feel like kind of like how Christian Bale said, I believe in Dent. I believe in Zdarsky. For now.
And like I said, I'm sure that I'm gonna end up enjoying it. I'm sure that it's gonna be fun. But I am happy with these two initial issues from him. I really am. I'm enjoying them, and I'm enjoying the setup. I think that Failsafe is so far right now like a cool villain. I hope that there's a lot of more depth to the robot, I guess, or android, or whatever. Because a lot of times I'm not the biggest fan of like robot enemies, because I'm hoping again that there's some human.
I'm hoping that like it gets defeated by the next issue, and the actual villain is gonna be Zurin or whatever.
Something, because you know what? I really have never been the biggest fan of Brother Eye, and I hope that it doesn't turn into another Brother Eye kind of story. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but we'll see, man. Whenever technology gets involved in Batman stories, again, I get that Brother Eye type of feeling. I don't know, but overall though, good issue, man. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So I just
good.
want to mention that we have both gone with our number threes, and nothing's overlapped with Carlos. And this is like the first time in
Yeah.
like
A month,
3 months where there hasn't been a Carlos overlap within the first
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah. It's funny.
So
What's your
but
number
that
three?
being said, yeah,
okay, I was gonna say before I go on, I just want to make sure you guys didn't have anything else to say. No, dude, my number 3 pick this week is actually Little Monsters number 6. Yeah, and the reason why is because the story has been building up, man. Like every issue, it's becoming a little bit more intense, right? And in this issue, the kids, and also, sorry for anyone that's not reading Little Monsters, just a quick little thing. It's basically about vampires that are children, and they've been vampires for hundreds of years. Yeah, forever. And they were left behind by the elders in a post-apocalyptic world. And they've recently discovered that like the taste of human blood, and now they have this hunger, right? So in this issue, things end up picking up a lot because the kids have decided that they're gonna go hunt. But there's two kid vampires. Yui, is
yeah.
you pronounce
I
it?
don't know how to pronounce it.
Yeah, but anyways, Yui and Lucas, and these two vampires, they're a little bit more like, I guess the best way to describe them, on the chill side, right? And they end up breaking away from the pack
Don't
of
forget about Rami as well.
Rami. That's right. Sorry, Rami, Yui, and Lucas. There's actually 3 of them. And they end up coming across a girl that's human, and her father was the human that the other kids ended up like feeding on, and she saw all of this, which is like the scene was horrifying, man. Like it was crazy. But again, in this issue, the kids decide that they're gonna go hunting, and the 3 vampire kids that don't feed on the human, they ended up discovering what they've done, and they're completely against that. But the other kid vampires say, hey, you know what? Like, we've been lied to our whole lives. We've been abandoned for 300 years. We need a feast, and we're gonna go hunt. And they end up smelling the human girl that they've befriended, and they basically like tell them, hand her over, or we're gonna end up killing you. So this issue has to do with them trying to hide the girl, trying to protect her, and the fallout that comes from them finally feeding on a human. But anyways, the reason why this issue again made my number 3 pick is because things are just heating up, man, and there's finding some actual drama and tension, and conflict that's being set up. I'm loving the art. I'm loving the interactions between these vampires, these kids, and everything feels very logical. Like the decisions that each side is making feel logical. Think about being hungry, and like feeding on vermin for fucking 300 years of vampire, and then you finally taste human blood. So while you obviously want to see the other kids as the villains, again, it just feels logical why each side is basically going to start fighting each other. But yeah, I love Jeff Lemire's writing. I love Dustin Nguyen's art. I think that Dustin Nguyen's art fits this series perfectly. And yeah, it's been a great read, and it's getting better and better, and I always appreciate that in a comic series. But yeah, that's why it's my number 3 pick, guys. Yep.
Are you reading this at all, Nick? No.
Nope.
Well, in that case, Dustin Nguyen. Like my only problem with this book is that it is black and white.
Really,
everything is black and white except for there is color, and it shows color throughout, like very specifically to like Romy.
I don't like that shit.
it fits the story, but at the same time, it's like I just want color.
Yeah, but
that's pretty much it.
There's a way to do it like in a darker tone and highlight the color while still giving it like color detail.
Yeah.
You know what helps out though is that it's not traditionally black and white in the sense that it looks like old, type of comic books. It's also not the black and white that you see in, let's say, like The Walking Dead, or it's not the black and white that you see in like
It is straight up just black and white. Like
maybe.
it's not like you're
Sorry.
saying, yeah, like you're saying, like in The Walking Dead, isn't like the white technically like Segovia or something like that? Like,
I mean, kind of, but it's not like newspaper type of like black and white. There's texture.
Segovia is a font, isn't it?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. But
I'm trying to talk about like the brownish tone.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but you're like trying to like name it. Like I know what you're saying.
Name, and I think Segovia is a font because I've been
pretty sure that's a country in the DC universe.
I'm pretty sure it's a.
Isn't that where freaking like what's his name that killed tried to kill Deathstroke's from?
Oh, fucking
Geoforce.
Prince. What is it? Prince.
The Geoforce, right?
Yeah, Geoforce.
No, Segovia is a city in Spain.
Is it? Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But anyways, more importantly, there is like there's texture. For lack of a better way of me describing it, to the black and white. So it and the little pops of color again really enhance the scene. So it doesn't really bother me. Again, for this story, would I prefer color? Of course, always. But I don't really think about it when I'm reading it. I'm not reading it and thinking, man, I wish this was in color. So
yeah,
but
that's
anyway,
true. You're thinking of Markovia.
Markovia, there you go.
Yeah. But
so close to what he said.
Segovia is a font.
Segovia, Markovia,
but it's not a color.
Come on.
I'm thinking of a color. What is that filter where everything becomes like brownish tint?
What is it like? Fucking.
It does start with an S. I know that much, but like I can't.
I don't know, man.
Sans Roman.
I don't know my my IG filters.
LittleMonsters 6 is my number 2 pick.
Really?
And it's just for the same reasons that you gave. I've known since like issue 2 that Billy was going to be a problem. Billy is an asshole.
Billy is a problem.
And Bats is gonna for sure like Bats is one of the kids that he sees what they're doing. He did feed on a human. He kind of knows it's wrong, but he's kind of following along with his girlfriend, whatever. But you kind of do get to see, like you were saying, like everything makes sense, everything's logical. Every character does act the way the character has been described, and I really like that. I do appreciate that, and that's why I picked it as my number 2. I thought it was a great book. The ending of them like separating and Billy just kind of going crazy and saying like, "I will kill you if you don't give me this human child." That was great. I want to know what's going on with Romy. Why do they not like feed? Because they are the oldest one,
right?
And I do want to find out like what's going on with the elders, the Draculas. Why did they tell them? So we find out that the humans were told never to go into the city, and then that the children were told never to go outside of the city.
Yeah.
So mystery is building, and that's great. I love it. But it's not like being prolonged too long. Like we just got that information. So I'm very excited about it. I love it.
Things are unraveling at a good pace. Like it's not. I don't feel like we're 5 issues in and we're still like
stuck.
Huh?
Like we're not stuck in the same spot.
Yeah, stuck in the same spot, stuck in the same city. Like they're these kids, they're already venturing out. Like there's a war about to.
And there's also another side story where one of the kids got caught by a human. I was like, what is that human gonna do with this kid? Like,
Right.
what is this guy's plan at all? Like, it makes no. I have no idea what he's gonna do with him. But it also shows what the blood side, let's just call it that, the blood side, the ones that fed, they don't care. Like, they lost two, as far as they know, they lost two of their members. They don't give a shit. They're just like, hey, blood was great. This was amazing. Let's keep doing this. And the others are, what are you talking about? So
absolutely,
I really loved it. Yeah.
Nice, very cool, man.
So Nick, let's just go ahead and move over to you, Nick.
Yeah,
I did my number 2 already.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He did. So
yeah, it was Elles.
Yeah, so it's
just go, Carlos. Let's go to your number 2, and then that way
and then we'll do number 1s.
Yeah, it's me. So number 2 for me this week was MoonKnight. On my list again.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2.
Crazy.
And yeah, so it was number 2, and not because there was like a lot of action, because this issue there really wasn't. There wasn't. I mean, he did fight those 2 D-list villains or whatever, or no, one of them or both of them.
He got his ass kicked by
dude,
these D-list villains.
he got his ass handed to him by these D-listers. But part of the reason why that happened was because he was having that inner meeting with, the Council of 3 is what I'm gonna call him. It was Mark, Steven, and Jake, and basically they had a back and forth after MoonKnight almost ended up killing shit, I forgot his name. What's his name?
Zodiac.
Zodiac, yeah. And that ended up crossing a line that Steven and Jake, surprisingly Jake, weren't really down for. And pretty much them having a conversation like, hey, what's going on with you, man? Like, we had an agreement that we were gonna let you take the reins, but you almost ended up crossing a line. And actually, the reason why I'm not too much surprised that Jake wasn't down for it was because I did like the fact that he mentioned, hey, I'm down for beating the shit out of and possibly even, killing our enemies, but you did it in front of the girl. And the girl that he's referencing is Reese. And in this issue, while I thought it was not random, but it was a little bit of a surprise. MoonKnight has like a special place, a special affection, for Reese, not romantically at all, because, well, she's a kid, but he sees her as just a normal person, that ended up.
Reese is a kid?
Yeah, dude, she's like 17, man.
What? No.
Yeah.
Did they say that?
Yeah, he even calls her kid in issue number.
I mean, kid is like a term of endearment, I feel like. I don't think they've ever referenced her age.
Yeah, we do learn that she's 17. I can't remember like in which issue, but she's like 17. But anyways, point is that he sees her as that she's been caught in this bad situation, man. And she's dealing with something that was thrown upon her, being a vampire, and he kind of sees himself in her, in the fact that, hey, he's dealing with DID. Interesting. Our second story, our second comic book.
I'm about to say that's the second story of the week.
Yeah. And he feels that it's good for him to be around her. And anyways, that's what ends up prompting this discussion between all 3 of them. And I just really enjoyed this back and forth that they had, and seeing Steven and Jake, pretty much tell Mark, like, hey, all of the problems that you've had in life, do you really think that it's because of this, condition that we have, or is it because of you? Because all that we've ever tried to do is like help you out. We've even given you the reins to take full, personality. Like, what's going on here? And if you don't get to shit together, like, we're basically gonna have to get involved. And it's just interesting seeing, Mark's defense of why he's making the decisions that he's making. And I really enjoyed the fact that he addressed the fact that, hey, everybody thinks that we're fucking nuts. And then after the age of, you know, Khonshu, where he pretty much ended up kind of taking over the world, man, and just like, you know, destroying the Avengers, he said, hey, we need to provide like a unified front. There can only be one of us, right? And at the same time, I really like that he ended up, while he's getting his ass beat, he does come to the realization, and he also expresses the fact that he's kind of always thought that he needs to take on his mission by himself, but that ultimately he can't do it by himself. So in a way, not only is he asking, you know, Steven and Jake to trust him, but we also see Tigra and Hunter's Moon, you know, jump in towards the end to rescue. So I feel like it's interesting, and I think that it's a sort of character development. Seeing him say, hey, you know what, I need people in my life to be able to help me take on this mission. And while sometimes, you know, the power of friendship can be a little corny, and to me it can sometimes ruin a story. When done right, I think that it's very effective, and I thought that was done, you know, very well in this issue. So that's why it's fine.
Power of friendship is only bad when it's like I'm losing, and now I'm remembering my friends, and now I'm winning. Like that's when it's bad. But when it's like I need my friends, and the friends show up, and like the guy that's getting beat up, it's still down. Like that makes sense. That makes a whole bunch of sense.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That's my number one book.
Oh, nice.
Same here.
There it is.
Oh wow, shit. Cool, man. Yeah. Nice.
So your number one is trash, Carlos.
Your number one's
gotta
be trash. If you
whatever it is, it's gonna be bad. But you know, I personally agree with all of it. Yeah, I agree with all of it. What I really liked was him like trying to defend himself to his other personalities, and also just for me personally, this is the first time that they've had an actual conversation. Like they've actually talked to each other instead of just I'm taking over. Like it was, hey, we're gonna talk. And Mark is still in the forefront fighting these D-listers, but they are having a conversation, and it was a great conversation throughout the whole book. And yeah, no, I mean you pretty much touched on all of it.
Are they D-listers or are they vampires?
They're not vampires.
Because I know in the last issue he was going on this whole crusade against vampires. I don't know if that was tied in.
Like he hired these bounty hunters.
Okay.
And then sorry, one last thing that I just want to touch on really quick, Manny, that you mentioned that they're having this conversation. Another thing that I really appreciated was that we saw each of them in their own setting. Like you mentioned, Mark was at the forefront, you know, like fighting. But while they're having their conversation, we saw Steven, you know, in his suit, like in an office, which signifies his, you know, like rich playboy investor, you know, type of businessman personality. And I love how we see Jake in a fucking strip club just drinking. You know, it was fun.
I mean, while Mark is in the front, Mark is also in the therapist chair.
That's right. Yeah, using, you know, the Mr. Knight persona, basically. So that was really cool. I really love that. Sorry, Nick, go ahead. It's the last thing that I just
what I was going to say, there's two things I really liked. First is that this is all about that event where Steven took over out of nowhere with the Zodiac thing. I like that there was a buffer issue between the event that went down and this issue. And I like that. I didn't think when this happened, I was like, wait, why didn't this happen last issue? Like, but I liked that it, like, you know, because now you know that MoonKnight is MoonKnight, but like Mark, his head is not clear. So when he gets his ass beat, it makes sense why. And in the last issue, he was on a rampage, hunting down vampires, creating problems for himself, setting up a situation where he potentially isn't in the right state of mind and is going to get his ass beat by people that are after him. And then, like you guys said, this is the first time in this series that we've had the personality talk. And I liked it. I liked the references. There was a lot of information that references past events, past series, past things that they're just throwing around like it's just casual conversation. And I like that. His past affairs, you know, that
All the
Jake,
strippers
the
look like
stripper,
Marlene.
yeah, the stripper looked
Yeah.
like whatever. Like, I just enjoyed that. Like, McKay has done a really good job of writing this series.
Yep.
And this was the definitive Moon Knight issue. This
Oh, wow.
issue, to define his personality struggle, this
okay.
issue
I agree.
was
Yeah.
perfect. Because it gives you a nice, like you said, there was no action. There was action. There was visual action.
Right.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole issue. We got to see some really cool artwork, a fight scene, back and forth in between this very important conversation. It was a conversation piece of an issue.
Yeah,
with
but
a really
the
good
fact that
visual.
it was like against these D-listers, it was like, nothing really happened. Like it wasn't.
Do we
actually
know if they're D-listers? Do we even know who they are?
They're
Yeah.
new. That's
Yeah,
why they're
they're-
D-listers.
That's why they're D-listers.
If they come up on the ranks, great for them. But for right now, they're new, so therefore they start from the bottom.
Yep.
But one looks like a thrift store Sabretooth. And the other one, I don't know. I get like Madam Web vibes, honestly, except for the whole
the little masking, yeah. But
and she paralyzes people apparently. So
yeah. But shit, I mean,
I'm excited.
I guess that leaves me, man, again with my number one pick.
trash pick.
It's gonna be trash.
Trash pick.
It's gonna be Twig, isn't it? If it's Twig, we're turning it off. We're done.
Look, let me just tell you why it was Twig, though. Okay, just
No,
it wasn't. Was it?
No.
Okay.
My number one pick. Before I say what it is, honestly, man, I felt like this was gonna be a great comic back when I said, hey, you know what? I think that I might pick this up. And in a way, Manny, you actually inspire. You're part of an inspiration of why I picked up this comic, because you helped me get into Supergirl and actually pick it up. So when I saw the previews for this, I got a Supergirl vibe. Like, you know what, this might fall along those lines. So number one pick for me is the new champion of Shazam.
Oh, okay. I didn't read that. I didn't read it. I haven't read that yet. Read it yet. But no, go ahead and do spoilers and all that stuff. It's fine. I'm gonna read it after this. So
yeah, for sure. Within the first 2 pages that I read and just visually took in, I honestly knew that it was going to be my number one pick, because I read MoonKnight first, and MoonKnight was my number one pick. Yeah. But then again, I ended up picking up this book, read it, and again within the first 2 pages, man, I knew like, wow, this is going to be special. But basically, this book deals with Mary Marble. And the reason why I love it is because for someone that has no knowledge of Mary Marble, of Shazam, of the Captain Marvel family, this book does a wonderful job of giving you the background that you need and setting up this story without you having to have any prior knowledge. And right now, Mary Marble and the entire Captain Marvel family, they've lost their powers, and they summarize it very well. I'm not reading what is it? I think it's Teen Titans Academy or something like that.
Okay.
that's done.
I know, but you guys read it, right?
Yeah.
So apparently, Billy is he trapped himself in the Rock of Eternity, right? Mm-hmm. In that series,
figuratively, because there's a bunch of other series where he's just out of it.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know, but
I bet you will see him in Dark Crisis somehow.
Didn't we already see him?
I bet. I don't know.
He was in the first issue or the second issue.
Dumb.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, but pretty much, I mean, in the time that this issue is taking place, that's why none of them have their powers, right? And Mary's actually okay with that, because she's taking this as an opportunity for her to just be normal. And she is extremely excited that she's attending her dream college. and she really wants nothing to do with superheroics or any of that. She really just wants, some time to find out who she is, and again, just be a normal person. But of course, there's evil out there, and Billy through an enchantment, and I won't spoil too much of it because you are going to read it, and for anybody watching, I highly recommend this book, and I don't want to spoil it too much. But he ends up getting out a message to her, and pretty much says, "Hey, you know what? You need to be the new Captain Marvel. Like, someone has to be, the new captain of
Shazam.
Shazam. Stop saying this.
Shazam.
Stop messing it up. There's only one Captain Marvel, and he's not a god. He's an alien.
She is.
Whatever. But anyway, there needs to be a
she
new.
Doesn't even count.
Oh.
Whoa.
Okay.
All right.
Marvel, and that's it.
All right. My bad. I forget. Nick hates women. But anyways,
nothing to do with it. Marvel is my Captain Marvel. You guys can be Miss Marvel. You can be Marvel. You can be Photon. You can be whatever you want to do.
All right.
This guy's over here saying George Washington is my only president.
All right.
My only president.
But anyways, there needs to be a new Shazam, right? And she's reluctant to take up the mantle because, like I mentioned, she just wants to be a normal person. But again, events end up happening, and she ends up gaining the power of Shazam. But because of the fact that Billy's not around and the family isn't around, there's something a little special that ends up happening to her powers. So again, don't want to spoil too much, but it's kind of cool, and you get to see it depicted in the fight that she ends up getting into, which was a lot of fun. But
it's only going to be 4 issues.
5, I believe, right?
I think it's 4.
It's 4. Oh shit. I wish that it was, at least 5, but I don't know. But yeah, the pacing of this was wonderful. The dialogue was wonderful. Mary's just a fun character, man. Like, I just really enjoyed, like, who she is in this issue. Everything happens very logically. There's nothing that happens where you're left, thinking like, what's going on? Why does this even matter? It's just set up very well. The art by Doc Shaner, phenomenal, just beautiful, man. Like, absolutely beautiful. Very, very vibrant, very very fun, very colorful. It's just great. The fight scene is, awesome. Yeah, everything is just laid out very well. I like how everything and how the story ends up developing, and the cliffhanger sets up, a great mystery. Yeah, man, it's my number 1 pick because of all of those reasons, and it's giving me, the vibe that I got from Supergirl, where it's just gonna be a good read that I'm gonna end up enjoying, and I think that it's gonna end up giving me a new appreciation for Mary Marvel, and may even give me a new appreciation for the Shazam family. Who knows?
I'll say that this will be one of my only series in my collection that is going to be all variants, because I'm not going to collect the A covers on this one. It's just going to be the B covers.
Okay.
I was already planning on it, and since it's only going to be 4 issues, then why not? Hopefully issue number 4's variant is good, because
I
don't want to break the streak.
Well, and then just a very, very last thing, the writer, her name's Josie Campbell. Josie Campbell. I believe that this is her first full out comic book, but from the little research that I did, because I've never heard of her name. I've never read
Scott Campbell's daughter.
Any comics by her. But she's actually a TV and movie writer, and she's worked on a lot of movies, a lot of different animated shows. She's a comedy writer as well, and you really get to see that in this comic. And I I think that she brings her, talents, and I think that it just really benefits the book. So, but yeah, that's why. Shout out to the team, man. This was a great issue. I honestly loved it. Had so much fun reading it.
Manny, it's time to turn the lights off and get dark.
Yeah, so I mean that finishes off with MoonKnight being both of our tops and new champion of Shazam.
Yeah.
Which I'll let you know. I'll let you know later. But for now, I think we all have the same disappointment. Maybe Nick is a little bit different, but I think Carlos and I have the same ones when it comes to the WB Studios and what they're doing with the whole DC.
That's been a disappointment.
I'll keep it short and just be like, they're dumb. They are saying like, hey, we got a new plan, as if like that hasn't been the plan the last 10 years. Don't even lie. Like that's been your plan. You just haven't been able to do it. But now you're stating it as if it's a new plan, and you're canceling movies that people actually want to watch instead of the ones that do need to be canceled because of problematic actors like Ezra Miller. So the only thing Ezra Miller did that was good was that scene from the Snyder Cut where he's in slow motion but he's in fast motion up until he grabs a hot dog. Then that was stupid, but everything else great. But that's my comment.
Yeah, I want to talk about that a little bit. I don't think it's just the DC stuff. Warner as a company has no idea what they're doing. I don't know what's been confirmed as of now, but with them saying that like HBOMax is not going to be a thing, and
go to Discovery Plus.
Well, that's the they haven't officially said it, but that's what everybody's really kind of like theorizing right now.
Makes no sense. It's probably one of the best streaming platforms out there.
Absolutely.
They've been doing everything with that platform right. It has awesome shows, awesome movies.
Yep.
Streaming quality on every device I've used is great. You're about to come out with freaking the new Game of Thrones prequel, and you're gonna take away HBO Max. Like, they made it seem like they were so confident in the product that when everyone else was going back to focusing on movie theaters, they said no. So we're going to focus on HBO Max,
which is great,
and it was doing great. From what I'm seeing, I know a lot of like cable companies have package deals with it and all this stuff. HBO, they made it seem like they were untouchable, and I know with the comic side or the DC side with the movies, they kind of have been fumbling for a while, in my opinion. But
still are.
You have so much content, so much amazing content, and the comics that are, even when they took a sledgehammer to the company, the comics they're putting out are still incredible.
Well, I mean,
there's a good amount that are really good.
Sure. All right.
Sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. Same with Marvel. Like, there's going to be bad, there's going to be good when you have that many characters and that many books.
That's right. Yeah.
They're still creating new good stories. And there's so much potential because of all the brands that they own. It makes no sense for these business decisions that they're making and the fact that they can't push out a good DC universe. They can't realize that getting rid of the number one streaming platform is a dumb decision. I don't get it. I don't understand this company in any aspect of it being around.
Yep. I mean, everything that you guys mentioned, I again really don't have anything to add. I really don't think that no one on the backroom movie crew deserved any of this. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't care. I'll say it. I was even excited for the new Scooby-Doo.
Dude, Scoob 2. I was pumped.
Scoob 2, man. I was pumped, man. I like watching those movies with my girlfriend's niece. Whenever we watch cartoon movies. Dude, these movies are done.
I watch it by myself.
Yeah, sure, exactly. These movies are done, man. I don't know.
Some people were saying that they're trying to cancel it and use it as a tax write-off, which makes no sense.
Well, that's what they're gonna do. But I don't know, man. I don't know if anyone watching has seen that meme where you got Chris Evans and Ben Affleck like sitting down, and you got Ben Affleck looking super serious, and he's he's got the DC logo, and then Chris Evans got the Marvel logo, and he's got hands back, and he's just like laughing his ass off. Dude, I've been using that meme I don't know how long, and I have said this meme will always be true. And this new 10-year plan that they have, I really think that meme is just going to be true forever. And it's sad, man. Like,
didn't they a couple years ago unveil a 10-year plan and not stick to any of it?
I mean, pretty
sure.
Like Manny was saying,
they've had a plan every year, every like 5 years is the same plan. It's just
they just can't execute it, you know. And I don't know, man. Like how do you have all of these characters and all these franchises under your belt, man? And like, I don't know, dude. Morbius was released in theaters twice, man. Like, come on.
I didn't watch it twice.
Me neither, but I'm just saying, like, come on, man. I don't know, but anyways, let's liven things up, man. Or sorry, Nick, you have
disappointment.
This is an actual disappointment. What are you talking about?
Comic books.
Oh, all right. You know, this is about comic books.
A show about comic books. Right. My disappointment was The Dead Lucky. And that doesn't mean it was a bad issue. It doesn't mean it's a bad anything. It doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it. And I think this is a genuine thing that might be able to be like felt throughout us as a group. I was expecting a different first issue.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to say anything negative about it because I don't really have anything. I don't want to be construed that way. I just thought, we would see the suit the first issue. I thought it would be a big, explosion of a first issue. Like all the other series have been very in your face, very set the stage, exciting of a first issue. Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, even, Radiant Red the first issue was pretty good. Okay. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as them, but we already had a lot of context about the character, so going in it was different. But super massive first issue. It was the only issue, but I think they're doing another one this year, right?
Yeah.
Big in your face, amazing. I understand they're giving us this origin story of this character. I would have preferred a big, already established as Dead Lucky and does her thing, big fight, whatever. And then the next two issues are 6 weeks ago and explain this whole lead up, how it happened. And then we go back to where the first issue is, and the rest of the series takes place after the first issue.
I mean, I guess not that I necessarily disagree with you, but we did see her suit, and in the first issue of Radiant Black, dude, we didn't see the suit until the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we didn't even really see the suit in this. This wasn't the actual suit.
You can't compare Radiant Black and Dead Lucky because Radiant Black was literally the start of a new universe.
Yeah.
So like that right there, while we didn't get anything big and flashy like Nick is saying we didn't. But it was like, oh my gosh, something's starting. This is gonna be great.
Yeah,
whereas Dead Lucky, it's like we've already started and we already know what to expect. I built it up, Dead Lucky up to here, and I got here with it. And it was a disappointment. It was, but I think we're just disappointed in different things. But again, in the end of the day, it is a disappointment. Good book.
That wasn't her actual suit at the end. That was just like a energy replica because the suit hasn't been established yet.
But we don't know that. That could be her suit.
Well, if she has the suit, why is she in the robot?
Well, because
we don't know yet.
Well, I mean, because that is her suit, but like her suit is just her suit. She also has like
That's like saying why Power
the
Rangers have
robot.
a Megazord.
Yeah, like she has a robot because that's just her robot that she uses to like to like also fight. Because there's other robots that we're gonna be dealing
You're
with.
making all this up, Carlos, because none of this has been established yet.
But you're both making things up because you're saying like, why doesn't she have a suit? We don't know if it doesn't have a suit. We don't know.
Well, this all seems like a big buildup to the establishment of her as the superhero that we know that she's going to look like.
I think your disappointment is that, just like me, you built it up to this.
Yeah.
You got this. And this is good. It's not what you were expecting.
I got like a slowly paced origin story when I was expecting like a nice explosion. Like
you should be disappointed.
Maybe
cliches.
maybe did I miss something? But we get her suit on like literally the first page, and
get what we think,
and then we go backwards, and then we go backwards in time. What? Sorry, what?
I think that we get what we think is her suit. We see the cover, we see all the variants. That's what we think is going to be her suit, but it could be a misdirection, and that's not actually going to be her suit. So we do see what we see in the covers, in the first page and in the last page, but that could be wrong. I'm not upset about the suit, honestly.
I know you guys are. I'm not really like complaining about the suit. That was just a point I'm saying. I was expecting it to be her, her in the suit the whole issue, and
at least in one
fighting what
at least a suit with one fight,
her as that suit, and we got like action, we got like good story in the robot and everything. We got to see the suit in panels, but like we didn't get to see her fight in the suit. We didn't get to see what was like kind of hinted at with all these covers and this lead up.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
I didn't, I was expecting like, in Radiant Black, she gets, even though it's an origin story, we get to see him in the suit and how he gets the suit and whatever. And this is kind of just a whole issue that leads up to
a mystery. Yeah, it's a mystery of what
the person in the suit.
Yeah. Okay. But anyways, moving on. Let's liven things up.
You don't have a disappointment?
What? It was the same as
same? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like you said, let's liven things up then. Best cover for me, 100% Poison Ivy. Number 3, the Joshua Middleton variant.
Nice.
Joshua Middleton did the Batgirl cover. He's done so many covers that are just amazing. He's done Wonder Woman. He did the new Champions of Shazam one. It's just when he does it right, he can't do wrong. That's absolutely. So for me, this cover was perfect.
Nice.
Cover of the week. I don't know who the artist is on this, but it was the FOC cover F reveal cover. I know that Power Rangers 22 has a matching cover
by Riccardi. And I've actually got covers like from this artist, but
yeah. So there's a matching cover that goes with this for the next week's issue of Power Rangers 22, with Zane, the Silver Space Ranger, that matches the same aesthetic. So you'll have the White Ranger and the Silver Space Ranger, both like this, and I'm excited about that. I like that's one of my favorite thing about the Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers series, and I'm really upset that they're combining them again. Is that there would be variant covers that like had things to do with each other when they were two different series.
Weren't you just complaining about money?
All right. Yes, obviously, but like Power Rangers was good enough that I was willing to buy 2 series. I buy like a bunch of Batman and a bunch of Spider-Man stuff. Like, let me spread the wealth to like other series that deserve to have more than one. Something Still in the Children, Radiant Black, Massive Verse.
Cool, man. Nice.
Carlos?
For me, number 1 pick, man, Middleton on the scoreboard again. But for me, it was actually the new champion of Shazam, the number 1 cover. It beat out Poison Ivy by just a little bit, man.
So what made it beat it for you? What
Huh?
what beat it for you? Why did it beat it for you?
You know what? Believe it or not, the minimalism of the cover. Again, the Poison Ivy cover is just beautiful, but I don't know, man. There's something about like the portrait like nature of new champion of Shazam. Like the way that her eyes look, the gaze that she has. Again, the simplicity behind it. And I think that it also, while I am really enjoying the Poison Ivy series, I think that what potentially could have helped it out a little bit was the fact that it was also my favorite comic of the week. You know,
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
that could have played into it a little bit. But I was torn between both of those covers initially because they're both.
Do you think that the Shazam cover will hit the hype that the Batgirl cover did?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
Let's make it happen.
I know, right? Like, dude, that Batgirl cover, one of the best, honestly, one of the best comic book covers that has ever been made, for sure. It's up there. Nick, you don't even know.
I got a backup.
That's a good cover, but that's definitely better than, not to say that the Ricardi is bad, but that one's better.
I would have actually picked that one. Yeah, me too, because I love that cover. It's an awesome cover.
What did it for me for the Poison Ivy was the eyes. Like it looked like she was staring at me. Like I'm just like, what are you looking at? Why are you
I have
looking
a question for you, Manny, because I know that you aren't as obsessed as me and Carlos are with the Jenny Frisian covers. I feel like those beat out these.
Shut up! Stop
talking, dude. Not this
really,
time, dude. not this time, man.
That when she draws Poison Ivy, it's not better.
Then this particular Milton cover, nah, dude. No, like look,
I'll say Frisian does more. She definitely her volume is more. But
yeah, and dude,
when Middleton draws,
and her covers are absolutely beautiful. I love her Poison Ivy color covers. I love all her fucking covers. But this particular Middleton cover, dude, it's just
I won't say that I don't like Frisian's covers. I do think that they're really great, and like when I first see them, they always catch my eye. 100% always catch my eye. But then I look at them, I'm like, I don't need it in my collection. It's like it's nice, but I don't need it.
Yeah, that's
whereas in this Middleton,
I need that shit.
That's right. Yeah.
So let's end this out with the what we're looking forward to next week.
Baby.
There's a lot of books. We got Axe coming out, Judgment Day #2. But for me, what I'm looking forward to the most, I would say, is Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, finally coming out. It's the last chapter of this Deceased. We got Slumber #6, which hopefully you're wrong, Carlos, and it's not the last book, but it is the conclusion of this story arc. Hopefully it will continue going. I don't know. And then we have Samurai Doggy. I don't know anything about it, but it looks funny. It looks great, and it reminds me. It's like the opposite of Little Red Ronin. So hopefully it's just as good though. So that's me.
Nick.
So I was wrong last week.
As per usual.
So League of Comic Geeks messed up and then updated itself on like Saturday. I thought the Predator variant for Spider-Man was coming out this week, but issue 7 is coming out next week. So I'm still excited for that cover. And then Predator issue 1 is coming out with a bunch of cool covers, as well as being really excited for Deceased and Slumber. I'm really excited for 8 Billion Genies. And yeah, it's a small week. It's a short week.
That's out next week? It's not showing up on my League of Comic Geeks for some reason. I don't know why. Okay.
The 8 billion?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. It's out next week.
Because Carlos was telling me that he only had 4 books coming out next week. And I was like, no way.
All right, scratch that. 5. I don't know why it's not showing up. Oh well. Interesting. Well, it's on my list in my shop, so whatever. But that's cool. Nice surprise. Well, with that being said, then yeah, I am excited for 8-Bit and Genius as well. But the book that I'm the most excited for is 100% Slumber, man. I have been loving this series, and
You're welcome,
dude. I hope that it does continue going, or that we at least get a volume 2, at some point. But anyways, wonderful series. Super excited about that. And the second book that I'm most excited for is Samurai Doggy as well. This just sounds it sounds insane. Like it sounds insane. I think that it's gonna be funny, or at least like wickedly awesome. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yeah, man. I have to say those are my 2 topics that I'm excited for.
Just a cover that I completely forgot. Issue I forgot was coming out because I didn't put it on my list. Issue 1 from Image is the Deadliest Bouquet that I'm actually really excited about.
The Deadliest. Oh, I think that I remember seeing like a solution for that.
Yeah. It's like a horror thing. Image, because it's their 30th anniversary, just putting out tons of shit.
Yeah, no. All right, so unfortunately, something happened with Carlos. He had to go. He doesn't want to talk to us anymore. Nick's bad picks. Well, I can't say that because we had pretty much the same picks. Damn.
Same picks.
Damn.
Carlos's bad picks. We're getting on our nerves, so we kicked him out of the group.
We kicked him out. There you go. Exactly. But other than that, that was our show. We did get through everything before he left, so that was good. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow, subscribe, comment below for anything that we missed or what you disagree with or what you agree with. And again, Nick can be found at Vinyl Casket Comics on YouTube, Twitch.
And Vinyl Casket Comics on Instagram, The Vinyl Casket, all one word on YouTube.
On YouTube. There you go. And then I'm on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Manny Reads Comics. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.